At what point did you decide you were never going to be rich? Never going to be exceptional, but that was okay? I knew I wasn't going to be rich when I found the job I love. It's seasonal work, early spring to early winter. With chaotic hours, I find out my shift the day before I work it. Usually working 8 to 15 hours. And lower pay $13.50 an hour, but it'll be damned if I don't love it. I get paid to sit on my ass all day, reading books, and checking a sample every 15 minutes. My office is amazing, as I'm about 100 feet from the Mississippi River. And I don't deal with people. It's easy to get time off. My coworkers are super laid back. And my boss is fantastic. Nobody yells at me. I don't have any high expectations held to me. I adore the job. And it makes me very happy. What is this job? If you don't mind me asking? I inspect corn and beans all day. And sometimes look inside barges. Don't look under the beans. I was about a 30-year-old chef. 50 now. Still love it. Have a family. Work too hard for too little. Don't get to see them as much as I like. But if they need shoes or money for sports registration, I can provide. Just posted this above. But I thought given your username you would appreciate. It is no bad thing to celebrate a simple life. J. R. Tolkien. My life got a lot better and I became much happier when I embraced simplicity. I hear you. It isn't always easy. And I am by no means a pro at it. There are days when I lament that the opportunity to somehow greatly contribute to society has passed me by. But then I remember that quote. And that many small good things, acts of kindness, can add up over the course of a simple life. And be remarkable in their own way. I've decided it, but I'm still not okay with it. Lol tbh, I don't think I ever wanted to be loaded. Just enough to not have to worry about going over my overdraft all the time. I'm more bothered by the fact that I've worked hard and studied to end up in a minimum wage job which bores the pants off me. But I have a roof over my head and a loving partner and family, so I'm still lucky. What did you study? I have masters in pizza making. That's the problem. You should have gone for pizza baking, not making. I'd be fine with having the middle-class life my parents had. What is difficult is wrapping my head around just that being so difficult to achieve. My mom stayed at home. Only my dad worked. We had a comfortable house with a yard and a pool. 2 cars, and my sister and I went to private school. My dad definitely had a good job, but nothing extreme. My husband and I both work and we can't even afford a house. I feel like it will take me 10 to 15 more years to get to where my parents were at the age I am now. At this point I'm just gonna prepare my body for the Thunderdome. The Disneyfication of New York is over. At midnight, your Lexus is gonna turn into a pile of rats fighting over a human finger. I never thought I'd be rich when I grew up. I'm content enough with a simple, stable life. Same here. I always strive to not be poor. Yes. I want to be able to retire with enough money that I don't have to budget or scrimp on basic stuff like groceries, medications, or socks. If I can own a home and have a couple dogs, that'd be great. Maybe go on a vacation once a year? Simple. Of course I'd love to have a big house with secret passages, a big library, and a huge home theater in the basement. But that's just a bonus if I happen to do really well. When I started taking antidepressants, I used to be so sad about my life and really suffering from gifted kid syndrome. Everyone told me I'd be something and I was struggling with self-hatred for not living up to that. Once I got my depression under control, I realized how comfortable I am with my life. I've got a job with good benefits and a respectable salary. I live in an apartment that's comfortable for me. Not too huge, but not a shoebox. I realized I don't want or need to make a ton of money, or live in a big house, or have a fancy car. Middle of the road is peaceful. and fulfilling. Undefined. I tell myself often that I'm living a life that most people in the world can only dream of. Good health. A loving family. A safe house to live in and good food in the table. It really is enough. I was in Vietnam 4 years ago, almost to the day actually, and we went out into the Mekong Delta during Tet. Met with a bunch of people along the way. Ended up eating with a family who invited us to their house. These people had very little. They had each other. A giant wild 13-foot Burmese python that they fed live chickens to. A 30 seconds walk to the river. And the plot of land they lived on where their ancestors were buried. They make them bury them there so that the family never sells the land. Supposedly. That was it. Nothing more. They were all incredibly happy people, you could tell. Just living life. Not worried about which car they wanted next. Or which phone they had versus their neighbor. They were a farming family and had a little plot of land. In that respect they were successful. We're conditioned in the Western world by capitalism. The constant barrage of Instagram. Commercials. Ads on bus benches. Billboards. In video games. Etc. We're conditioned to always want more. Spend. 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 I realized during my time in Vietnam that none of that speed matters. It shouldn't affect your happiness. And that it was simply a device that we've been programmed by every day of our lives. I already knew that. But seeing other people with so much less than I have being so much happier was something that stuck with me. Maybe the secret to their happiness was the 13-foot Burmese python? The moment I stopped trying to be rich and exceptional was the moment that I finally accepted myself for who I am. My only goal from that point forward was to be happy. Now, that does involve financial goals to a degree and also feeling useful. So I may yet be rich and exceptional. But I'm going to be happy regardless. I'm a professor. And I was at an R1 university. There you are expected to write grants. And usually the professor opts to pay themselves out of the grant money for the things they are doing. Professors can get rich from this. Especially in engineering, medicine, etc. It is how you become famous in your field. I hated it. I moved to a teaching-focused university. I like to be done when I go home at night. I like snowboarding and Lego. I am infinitely happier. Less money and fame. But who cares? Edit/note. The idea is that at an R1 the base salary after tenure is usually around 100,000. Add-on contracts, grants, speaking fees, etc. can double that. In most college towns in America, if you make anywhere near 200,000, you can pay your mortgage off in less than 10 years and you will never worry about money again. I mean normal person rich. Not yacht rich. An engineering professor who likes Lego? Color me surprised. Why is Lego always autocorrected to be capitalized? Because if it's lowercase you may not see it and step on it. Early 40s was when I finally realized none of those big expectations would come true for me. I held on for a long time. But it's all okay because life is still great without the big dreams I had set for myself when I was young and naive. Late teens is when I knew I would never been rich. As a child I was certain I'd never be exceptional. I was never ever okay with it. Now I'm 41 and have more than I could ever imagine. It's really funny how things work out. Too bad I have very good imagination. Ha. Same here. When I was a kid, I was born poor. Grew up poor. Saw how damned difficult it was to just go from poor to not poor. Much less from poor to rich. Same here. It taught me that you don't need to be rich and that vast wealth is a waste of money. I was born poor too. I'm so sick of the do we pay rent or the car loan or food heat life. Happiness rises with income up to about 80k-ish for the household location relative. Which is about the point of financial stability. That there I think is my personal goal. I don't want to be rich. But I've always dreamt about what it'd be like to have enough. This hits way too close to home. I'm almost 20 and I've been homeless countless times. Currently living at my friend's parents' house who make about $80K a year, and while they're not rich per se, they're not struggling. And it's given me a new meaning to living comfortable. When I decided the only thing I care about is playing music and I wanted to do it for a living and to find money for nothing and your chicks for free. Leave a like and a comment if you liked the video. Check out more Reddit related video, I am posting them daily. Subscribe to see more Reddit content.